Welcome to a series called He Trains My Hands for War, where we're going through the book of Joshua, because Joshua is by far the best example that we have in Scripture of a people group, a nation of people who followed God's direction every single step of the way without questioning it. And they had victory after victory after victory in very strange ways that are not normal to your normal generals of warfare. And they've crossed the river, and God gave them instructions, specific instructions on how to take Jericho. And the first thing that I kind of pointed out is how obedient they were. He said to do these strange requests, and then they just were absolutely obedient to that thing. So we're just going to pick it up there. Joshua 6, starting verse 1. Now Jericho was securely shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. And the Lord said to Joshua, See, I have given Jericho into your hand, its king and the mighty men of valor. You shall march around the city, all you men of war. You shall go all around the city once. This you shall do 6 days. 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark. By the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow the trumpets. So here what we got, we're just going to pause there because we're going to go into a little bit of detail of what it is they're doing here. They're saying that there's 7 priests will bear the Ark of the Covenant, and all the men of war. So this would be, about maybe 1/10 of the nation, maybe 1/8, but a good chunk, hundreds of thousands of men of war. It says, This you shall do 6 days, and 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark, but the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow the trumpet. Then it shall come to pass, when they make the long blast with the ram's horn, and when you hear the sound of the trumpet, that all the people shall shout with a great shout, then the wall of the city will fall down, and the people shall go up every man straight before him. So here, what they're going to do is they're just, as soon as it's over, they're going to just start blowing those trumpets, and then everybody's just going to shout. Not just the men of war, but it says everybody shout. That'd be quite a sound. I don't know if you've been to Arrowhead Stadium before. It's the loudest stadium I guess Seattle might be, but I think they go back and forth on who's louder. It's loud. It is loud. If you've ever been there, it's really loud. And I think it's 80,000. I don't know. I didn't Google it. If you know how many people sit in Arrowhead, put it below. But it's pretty loud. It's pretty darn loud. And then you kind of double that number, maybe triple that number, quadruple that number if it's all the people, go up to 1 million potentially if it's all the people yelling at the same time. That's quite a sound. So Joshua son of Nun called the priests and said to them, Take up the Ark of the Covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the Ark of the Lord. And he said to the people, Proceed and march around the city, and let him who is armed advance before the Ark of the Lord. So it was, when Joshua had spoken to the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the Lord advanced and blew the trumpets. The Ark of the Covenant of the Lord followed them. The armed men went before the priests, who blew the trumpets, and the rear guard came after the ark, while the priests continued blowing the trumpets. Now Joshua had commanded the people, saying, You shall not shout or make any noise with your voice, nor shall you say any word, nor shall any words proceed out of your mouth, till the day I say you shout. Then you shall shout. Now, here's the other piece, is you're getting everybody just to be silent, this whole time. Just don't make any sounds while we're doing it. Just be silent, and then, then shout when you're on that last day. So he had the Ark of the Lord circle the city, going around at once. Then they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the Ark of the Lord. And 7 priests, bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the Ark of the Lord, went on continually and blew the trumpets. And the armed men went before them, but the rear guard came after the Ark of the Lord, while the priests continued blowing the trumpets. And they just continue this and continue this. But it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day and marched around the city 7 times in the same manner. On that day only they marched around the city 7 times. And the 7th time it was so, when the priests blew the trumpets. And Joshua said to the people, Shout, for the Lord has given you the city. Now the city shall be doomed by the Lord to destruction, it and all who are in it. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all who are with her in the house, because she hid the messenger that was sent. And we talked about this in an earlier post. I'm just going to earlier episode of this, but Jesus was a descendant of Rahab. That's pretty awesome. And you, by all means, keep yourselves from the accursed things, lest you become accursed when you take of the accursed and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it. And I'm just going to stop there, because this curse, this is something you got to watch. When God says don't do something, you don't do something. And this is going to be an example of that, and that's a whole other episode. So we'll talk about that next time. But ultimately, they're around it. This is coming. This end of Jericho is coming pretty quick. So any thoughts or insights on any of this, keep joining us. This is their first battle. It's pretty exciting. And it gets even more exciting. The strategy, everybody's familiar, or most people are familiar with Jericho. But the battles that ensued afterwards, they get pretty crazy, and we need to learn from them. So I hope this is all helping. Any thoughts or insight, definitely put it below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. If you feel called to support this channel, the Patreon link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.